Today I'm going to teach you how to find the product of prime factors. Now to understand how to do this, first we actually need to understand what these words mean. So product, that means multiplying. Factors are numbers that go into something else. So for example, 2 and 5, if you multiply them together, make 10. So therefore 2 and 5 are factors of 10. And the last number, which is the most important one, is prime. So a prime number is a number that only has two factors. So I'm going to write two factors only. So for example, the number 1 is not a prime number, because it's only got one factor. It's 1. 2, however, is a prime number because it's got two factors, 2 and 1. Okay, so for the first question, I'm going to give you the number 32. Now, when we're finding the product of prime factors of 32, we have to think what prime numbers multiply together to make 32. Now, that's quite tricky just to sort of try and figure it out just off the top of your head. So there is a method. So the first thing you need to do is you need to split it into two factors. So if it's even, the easiest thing to do is to half it. So I'm going to rewrite it as 2 and 16 because 2 times by 16 makes 32. Now you have to look to see which of these 2 and 16 are prime. Well, 2 is prime, so I'm going to highlight that, or you could circle it. Then we look at 16 and we try to write that as two factors, and we're aiming to make one of them a prime number. Again, it's even, so we know 2 goes into it, and 2 times by 8 makes 16. So we highlight our prime number each time, and we keep doing this process. So 8, 2 and 4 goes into it, highlight our prime number, and then 4, 2 and 2 goes into it, and we highlight our prime numbers each time. Now, when we're writing this as a product of prime factors, you look at all of your highlighted numbers, and we multiply them together. So 32 is the same as saying 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, because these are all of the highlighted numbers at the top there. Now, you can rewrite that because there's using indices, so there's 5 lots of 2 there, so we write 2 to the power of 5, and that is our answer. There's a slightly neater way of writing it, which some people find useful, and that's sort of a bit like writing it like the division bus stop method, but kind of upside down. I'll show you here. So if we were to do 32 again, we do exactly the same method. So we think, what numbers go into 32? Well, 2 and 16 do, but this time I'm writing it like this. And then we go, what goes into 16? 8 and 2, and we keep going down exactly the same as how we did earlier until we're left just with all of these same prime numbers that we had in the first one, and then we can write it exactly the same way. 32 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is the same as 2 to the power of 5. Okay, I'm going to give you another one here for you to do on the right hand side, and I'd like you to pause the video again, and you can use either of those two methods. So this time I'd like you to try to figure out what 40 is as a product of its prime factors. Okay, let's go through it. So again, I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to do the two methods just like I did with 32. So 42 is even, so we've got 2 and we've got 20, and again we highlight our prime. Then we figure out what factors of 20 are, or 2 and 10. Again, we can highlight the prime, which is 2, and then we keep going. So 2 and 5. Now here, you'll notice that both 2 and 5 are prime numbers, so I can highlight both of them. So we can rewrite this as 40 equals 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. And if we want to make that look sort of neater and use indices, we look how many 3s there are. There are 3, so it's 2 to the power of 3 times by 5. Again, we can write it in the sort of upside down bus stoppy method there, which just saves a bit of space. It doesn't matter which you use because they're the same method, just presented differently. So I'll just show you how you do it. So 2 goes into 40, 20 goes there, 2 and 10, and then 2 and 5. And again, we're highlighting exactly the same numbers as we did in the first one, which leaves you with 40 equals 2 to the power of 3 times by 5. Okay, either of those methods work. They're exactly the same, and I think you'll find them useful.